Hi, Best Buds. It's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. We're going to make our own botanical papers. Yes, we are. And look what I made with mine. I made a little journal booklet. I even have dangles on it. Look at the beautiful dried flowers that is on the cover here. You open it up. I even have a pocket made out of that paper. And I have tags. Oh my goodness, I think this project is so sweet. A few coffee dyed papers, my center of my signature here. And then on the back, I put another pocket and another one of my little handmade tags made out of my own paper. So here's my second one here. Now I did choose to sew around the edge with my sewing machine just for an added layer. This is how this one looks. I love that tag. That tag turned out spectacular. And then here we are here. All right, so I've also got some little tags here. Now how I made this paper was I took a whole sheet of coffee dyed cardstock and I did my botanicals on here, and then I chopped it up, and then that is why there you just see portions of the flowers here and there. So it was kind of a surprise how it was all going to turn out. After I did it this way, I decided that maybe the best way to do it was to cut my paper into what I wanted. Like, for instance, if I wanted to make this size little journal, I would cut it to 7 inches by 4 inches. And then I could kind of determine what was my front and what type of botanicals I wanted for the front of my little booklet. Or if I was going to make a tag, then I would cut my cardstock in the size and the shape that I wanted, and then I could arrange my botanicals on it. I actually think my second way of doing it is, I think, a little better, because I don't know about you guys, but if I have botanicals, whether I have purchased the botanicals like this is how most botanicals come, or if I have gone ahead and gone out to my garden and collected some of my own botanicals and then pressed them. So I'm kind of, I don't want to say stingy with them or hoard them, but yeah, I mean, I really want my pretty ones to be exactly where I want them on my projects. So I think cutting our size of what we're using them for is going to work a little better. So let's just get going and let's start making our own botanical papers. All right, for my video to work, so I can show you the beginning and then I can show you the end, I had to make my examples where we're going to use them after everything dries, because it takes about overnight to get everything dried nicely. I'm going to be making tags because that's what I have to switch to after I show you how we're going to make these. So let's just make them, I think these are going to be a little bigger. Let's make these 3 inches. And let's go ahead and let's cut them. And then let's go ahead and bring in our botanicals. So I'm going to get these cut up. All right, so I have my little journaling cards already cut. I've rounded the corners and I have inked them. Now let's go ahead and start. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my paragraph stamp, and I'm going to bring in my StazOn Timber Brown. Now usually I use my StazOn because it's handy, it's the color I want, I have it, blah, blah, blah. But this time I'm using my StazOn for a reason. We're going to be adding wet moisture to this. And you're going to want your stamping not to bleed. So that's why I am using StazOn, because it's going to stay on. And it still stayed on my fingers. This all over my fingers. All right, so I've got my paragraph stamp. I haven't put it on a block or anything because I kind of like to be able to move it around and bend it. Now I'm going to add my ink to my stamp, and I'm not going to try. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not going to try to ink it all the way up, and I'm just going to lay it on here, press it on, see what I get. Yeah, that's kind of the look I want. I want some pieces or spots that aren't quite stamped completely. That is the look that I'm going after. So let's just do a few, and I'm going to use this longer journaling. Oh, that one's pretty. That one's real nice. See, now don't think that that's not going to work. That's going to be just fine. So adding a little more ink to my paragraph, and let's see how this all turns out. Oh, that's lovely. I like that. I think I'm a little bit darker right there. How about that? Yeah, that's good. Let's do another one. Here we go. I need a few to work with here. Lovely. Wonderful. Okay, I think we have enough to work with. We have 4. Let me do a little bit of cleanup. All right, now to go with the botanicals, I also have an assortment of labels. I have some thread right here, and this thread I used underneath right here on top of my botanicals. Can you see the thread? It just adds a little extra texture to your project. Now, I did not use it on all of them. This one does not have any thread. So it's just an added thing that you can put on there if you like. Now, you guys, the very first video I ever made for YouTube was doing this. It's a crazy video, let me tell you. This is one that I used my phone. That's when I realized I couldn't do it without a camera because the phone was just not working. But anyway, so this is not new is what I'm saying. I've got some butterflies right here. So let's bring in our tags that we have stamped and move this out of the way. Alrighty, let's talk about what we're going to cover our botanicals with. We're going to cover it with a napkin. Now, napkins have plies, and this actually had a printed piece of napkin on top, but I think you could use basic white napkins as well. But you do need to remove or separate, I should say, the plies. And it's easy to do, but you just need to go slow and they will separate. They'll feel like they're going to rip, but usually they don't. I mean, I can't say always. Usually they don't. But just be gentle with them and rip them apart. Now I have my napkin all ripped apart. And because I have already cut my little pieces, I can see that, you know where the napkin's folded? If I just cut out the napkin right there at the fold marks, then I won't have to work with this huge napkin that really I find a little troublesome. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut my napkins along the napkins folds. So let me do some more cutting. Now I have my large napkin cut into manageable pieces, as you can see here. So let's begin with our first one. So I'm going to take a piece of napkin and my stamped cardstock. It was cardstock that we stamped. I coffee dyed mine. And we need to bring in our botanicals. Now, I have lots of botanicals here. Like I showed you before, I have ones that I have pressed from my own garden, and I think I absolutely love these ferns that I did from my own garden. Let me get this one. Let's use this. Isn't that pretty on there? It's already like really pretty. It's already something special. Now let's open this one up and let's get out. This is usually how they come. And maybe we can use one of these. And how about if we use this pretty pink one? Okay, I think that's plenty. All right, so as you can see, doing it this way, you're able to determine exactly how your tag is going to look, as opposed to doing a big sheet and just putting them everywhere and then chopping them up. So first, I'm going to get my glue. Now, I'm using white school glue. And if this was an empty bottle, this much would be the school glue, and this much would be water. Yes, I mix my water with the school glue. It makes it runnier, easier to apply, and it also makes it go further. I have a flat brush right here, and I'm going to use that to spread my glue. So I think I want my fern to go, I think I'm going to have it go this way. So I'm just going to lay it down like that. And when I'm putting my botanicals on, I just kind of do this first. Whoops. And I'm just going to press it down in and then gently brush just to kind of get it to stay where I want it. I need to crush my brush after last night's use, because I made my examples that we're going to have to use after I show you how to do this part, and my brush gets kind of crusty. Alrighty, so a little bit more glue here. Then let's lay this botanical down. Didn't want it to go there. If you have trouble picking up your botanical, you can. I'm going to pick up this one next, the way I'm going to tell you about. I'm not sure where I want to put it. I would like a label for this. Let's put maybe this label on here. And a butterfly might be sweet on here too. Well, that's got glue on the back of it. We don't want that one. Let's see. Ooh, that's a big truck going by. That one's pretty. Here's another one. I kind of wanted the pink. All right. And then let's go ahead and get our label on. So adding just a little bit of glue, placing our label down. I'm going to put my butterfly right up here. I'm just kind of making it stay put. It's not really glued down really well. It's just so it doesn't move around on me. Now I'm not sure. Oh, somebody must be here. All right, they must have just heard that truck and it bothered them. Okay. So adding that piece on there. All right, so now we've got our things placed on there the way we want. I'm not sure I want any thread, but I'm going to bring a little bit in just to see what we think. I'm going to kind of wad it up. Just going to place it right here. Some of it's coming over the side. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to take my glue, and now I'm going to actually apply the glue. Like seriously, put some glue on there. You're going to be gentle. I'm going to hold with my finger right here, and I'm just going to brush the glue out to the edge and cover the area of the tag that we're making. Now when you get to this thread, it wants to move on you, but you just kind of have to dab it, go around it. It's okay if you've got globby pieces of glue. That's not going to matter, not one bit. So just getting the area covered. I think I pretty much have my tag covered. I'm going to take my napkin, I'm going to lay it right over the top, just like that. And you can see the moisture starts sucking that napkin onto it. Adding a little bit more glue, guys. And then I'm going to start from the center and gently press out. I'm not pressing hard. I'm really just letting the brush lay on top of the paper and just pull it. Pull it towards me. Pull it outwards. Now, it's going to look like you've messed up. You're just going to think you have messed up. But you haven't messed up. That's just the way it's going to look. I'm taking a little needle here, a little pin, and I'm lifting it up so I can show you what it looks like. You can see there's a glob there. It just doesn't look, it looks like it's milky, like you poured milk on it, right? But that's okay. That really is okay. So let's do another one. Let's try a blue one. Let's do a different color. So let's see here. How about a little bit of this baby's breath? Well, if I can get to it. There we go. And there's a pretty hard, and it's kind of like a joint to the flower. I'm going to break it off. I don't want that. That's kind of, it's not smooth. Not that this is smooth, but that would, I think, become an issue. And let's see, how about a larger label? Maybe something like that. And then how about a blue butterfly? Put something on it like this. Oh, I think that looks good. Let's go ahead and let's do that. So first what I think I'll do is I'll take my butterfly and I'll add a little bit of glue here just to get it to stay on the label. And then remember, we're going to want to add the glue. Now I'm actually going to add a little bit of glue because it's larger area. I'm going to do it this way. So there's lots of different ways to do it, guys. There's no right or wrong way to do this, not at all. I'm going to switch real quick to my art glitter glue because it's a little more precise, and I can just add my glue on here just like that. And let's place it just right there. Okay, now I'm going to add glue onto the top. I know, right? It looks crazy. I've got my brush in some water here just so it doesn't dry out. And I'm just going to spread out my glue the best I can. Just onto the edge. And like I said, it does not matter if it's gloppy. It's going to be okay because that napkin, when we add it to the top, that glue is just going to suck that napkin down right on it, and that's what we want. We want that napkin to become one with our tag. And it is all right if you've got a crinkle or two. It's not going to matter. It truly isn't. Go ahead. Now, we didn't put any string on this one. So with string, without string, that's all up to you. It's your project. Make it your own. If you have a theme going on or a color that you need, then, or maybe you just want to go out and dry some of your own. There's microwave drawing kits. You could do the way that we used to do back in the day and just place it between two pieces of paper in a book page, and wait a little bit, and then you've got your pressed flowers. Now, I've got some wrinkles in here, but it's not going to matter. It's just going to give it a little more texture. There it is. You know, you can't really tell how it's going to look till it gets completely dry. Let's bring in some of the dried ones that I made yesterday. Here they are. I made a lot of them, didn't I? Now this is how it's going to look once it's all dry. The napkin is going to be sticking out just like that. I've got all kinds of things here. I've got some with blue. I've got the skinnier ones. Now you can go ahead and tear around. You can leave it, leave this here like that, the white, or you can take an emery board and you can just scrape it on the side and it will come right off, or you can take your scissors and you can just trim onto the edge of your card. So there's lots of different ways that you can get your napkins off. Let me grab an emery board and show you that method here. Let me grab one. All right, so you're going to tear your napkin around, and you've got glue a little bit right there. That's why it tears so nicely, and it's glued onto your paper, so it's not going to come off. You're not going to have that problem. And basically, you just kind of stretch it around until you get through that napkin, and then it will just come right off. Well, I'll have to scritch a little more. I don't know how that's sounding on the camera, if it's bothering anyone. There you go. It just comes right off. So there's many different ways that you can get your napkin off. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to get these napkins off, and we're going to decorate them even further. All right, so this is the time in which, if you want to take it to your machine and sew around a little bit, then you would get this look as compared to this look without any sewing. But both looks are absolutely adorable. Now adding a little bit of Sari silk to the top from Crimson Heart Studios, and voila, we have the most adorable botanical papers that you have made yourself. Quite unique, don't you think? If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.